Kubatko. Roch, good evening to you, my friend.
How you doing?
Now, we dipped inside your bag and we were asked who the Orioles MVP. I'm going to go with the Orioles PR account on Twitter because they've been working overtime with all the information on the IL people. But I'm sure we can't go in that direction. What direction which did you go?
Yeah, anybody who wants to update the injury box in the game notes should get something. Yeah, you know, I actually turned in my ballot today, so I have to be careful. I cannot reveal it yet, but I think it's pretty obvious. Everybody I talk to, the informal poll, it's like, is it Gunnar Henderson or is it Trevor Rogers? Like, those are the two that a lot of people seem to be talking about. And, you know, Rogers, it's unprecedented what he's been doing here. He's got the 1.43 ERA in 16 starts. That's the lowest for any Oriole pitcher ever in the first 16 starts of a season. So you have to look at that in the whip, 0.894. He's allowed 2 runs or less in 15 of his 16 starts. So again, I mean, this is stuff you're not used to seeing, and it's a big enough sample size now to be considered. And then Gunnar Henderson, look, he's not finishing strong. He's 6 for 41 this month, and Tony Mansolino said there's some stuff with the swing he's going to have to work on in the offseason, and he will. By Gunnar's standards, this has not been a big year for him. You ask him, he's going to say it's a bad year. You look at the numbers, you're going to say, is it really that bad? I mean, this is MVO, not MVP of the league. And he leads in every category across the board except home runs. He's one behind Jackson Holliday. He's got 16, but he's leading in everything else: hits, doubles, triples, RBIs, walks, stolen bases, average, on-base percentage, slugging percentage, on-base plus slugging, all those. So if you're doing a team MVP award, MVO, let's say Gunnar's got to be considered, plus playing great defense. It's a 3-man ballot. I know a lot of people looking at Holliday. Again, he's been very up and down.
For Holliday?
I mean, the guy's playing in his 141st game tonight, I think. Staying off the IL, again, should get you some sort of a prize. I don't know. Leads him in home runs. And, you know, it's been an up-and-down season for a 21-year-old kid, but I feel like he certainly has to be discussed. And then, you know, again, reminder, you have to be on the club still to be eligible. So anybody was traded at the deadline, no. Felix Bautista injured, no. So there really aren't a lot of candidates when you've used 68 different players. It's hard to build up stats.
#1 starters. And anyway, Kyle Bradish could be that opening day starter for the Birds in 2026.
The short answer, yes. The longer answer, yes, I think so. Now, here's the thing, and it's going to really depend on the off-season business. Is he an ace? He's got ace stuff, absolutely. If it looks like an ace, if it sounds like an ace, et cetera, et cetera. But you could go out, Michael Eyes could look and say, hey, we need to be aggressive like they were with Corbin Burns and go out and get that #1 starter. And then Kyle Bradish becomes your #2. Yeah. Now, let's say Rogers is your #3. That's a pretty good-looking deep rotation, let alone having Wells back and Kramer. And then you can look at other guys, Young, Gibson, Povich, Herman, Weston. If they bring in somebody else, they'll probably bring in more than 1 starter. Who knows if you bring back Zach Eflin if you're interested in free agency if he's healthy. I think they will add more than 1 starter, but I think there's a chance they're going to go out there and they've kind of restocked the farm system to give them some depth to maybe make some trades to go ahead and bring in that #1 guy. And if you do that, so it's a trick question. If you do that, Kyle Bradish is your #2. If you don't do that, Kyle Bradish is your #1.
See, I don't think the guys that make Kyle Bradish your #2 will be available for the Orioles. I think he's that dude.
He could be that dude.
I think he's that. I don't think there's a short list of pitchers out there that will bump Kyle Bradish back, in my opinion, to the #2.
Depending who you go out and get. That's true. And then you maybe go out and get that #2 and instead, and then you can have Rogers as a 3, or maybe Rogers is your 2 if you're convinced this is sustainable, and then you go out and get a 3. They're going to add a starter somewhere for that top portion. But yes, Bradish certainly is good enough to be an ace, and he was before he had the elbow surgery.
Well, we found out recently that the team will be looking for a general manager, but they'll also have to make a move for manager. So is it going to be Tony Mansolino or a buck? You see what I did there?
Yes, I see what you did. Well, I'll tell you, first of all, I love the fact that, you know, they're going to see names thrown against the wall right now. Then all of a sudden trade rumors post, hey, it's being reported, here's a list of candidates. None of them confirmed, verified. It's just you're going to see names that are going to get thrown against the wall. And it's not breaking news that Tony Mansolino has not been assured that he's coming back. Of course he hasn't yet. He could be a candidate. It's going to be a wide pool. It's going to be a wide search. It's going to be a big net cast. And Tony Mansolino certainly has earned consideration, but they're not going to at this point say, hey, we're going to take that interim tag off. They're going to go looking, and it depends whether they want somebody with more of a track record, and there are guys out there like that. If they want to roll the dice again on somebody who's a first-timer, and I keep hearing Ryan Flaherty would be a good one for the different stuff that he's done, and a former player, but also big in analytics and the data. Yeah. Or if you look at Mansolino and say they were above 500 with him, and they're playing hard for him, and he's a good baseball guy. So, you know, it's a possibility. Now, it's not going to be Buck Showalter, also not breaking news. I don't think that would be a fit any longer. He was a perfect guy in 2010, just like Brandon Hyde was a perfect guy for the rebuild when he was hired.
Yeah.
So I don't think now Buck Britton, that would be if you're going again in the same direction you went with Hyde, where it's somebody who hasn't been a manager before, but he has even less experience. Hyde was in the majors for a while as a coach, bench, first base. This is Buck Britton's first year at this level. I know they would love to keep him in the organization. That's why they brought him up here, first as a major league coach, then now third base. But if you bring in a new manager, he wants his own people, then that's a whole different thing. So his future's kind of up in the air as well. But I can tell you it's not going to be Buck Showalter. I don't think he would look for that match. I don't think the Orioles would look for that match.
I don't know if Mansel's going to get it, but he sure did do a heck of a job. As well did you, Roch Kubatko. Thank you very much.
I'm also a candidate, but I'm not allowed to say that yet, so we'll edit that out.
Can I be on your staff?
No.
Okay. Thank you very much, man. Don't